why do the right wing care so much about this one socialist council member in one city in the US? Like, why are they putting so many resources and so much energy and so many efforts into, counteracting her?
Well, Kshama's campaigned boldly for raising wages, taxing big business, and fighting to put workers first through an effective movement-building approach that threatens big business and their political establishment. What's more, our victories here embolden workers and youth everywhere. Our breakthrough 15 now victory in Seattle spread to cities and states nationally. And has created a dynamic where even the Democratic Party establishment has to wrap itself in false support for this demand or risk exposure as the thoroughly corporate institution that it is. Of course, as we have seen, they have absolutely no intention of fighting for it. But that's the case in Seattle as well, where elected Democrats promise the moon, but do everything they can to obstruct real change. The difference is Kshama unequivocally supports and builds our movements, and that puts real pressure on City Hall to either vote in favor or be exposed as corporate tools. We have again and again forced unanimous and majority votes on things that we were told weren't achievable, that, or in the Mayor Durkin's words, not going to happen. And this is despite only starting with one reliable vote in favor, Kshama's. For years, but especially this summer, we've won incredible gains for renters in this city, from banning evictions of school-aged children, their families, and all school staff during the school year, to just a couple weeks ago, where we won, relocation assistance for any renter whose landlord increases their rent by 10%, as well as a 6-month notice of any rent increases for tenants. And through these battles, we built a movement poised to fight for universal rent control. Like that threatens the political establishment and the bosses, their profits. And then it also, as we've seen, spreads across the country. It inspires movements like Tax Amazon in Burbank, California, and the Tax the Rich campaign in Chicago. And that's what, where we threaten the profits of big business, not just in Seattle, but we threaten the profits of landlords and big business across the country.
The recall campaign itself, which is very dominated by big business interests, corporate interests, especially corporate landlords who are livid at the incredible success we've had in winning renters' rights victories. In fact, just days ago, on Monday last week, we won some critical renters' rights in the middle of, a recall campaign against us. We have been able to, through our office and organizing renters, we have now won 2 major laws requiring landlords to give at least a 6-month notice before any rent increase, and requiring landlords, if they raise rents, in the absence of rent control, if they raise rents more than 10% or more, then, and that forces their tenant to move, then the landlords owe the tenants 3 months rent.
Wow.
These are major victories, and we were able to win despite the fact that the 8 Democrats on the council, they're not on our side. They're not on the side of renters, but they're forced to vote yes on these progressive issues because of how well we have been able to organize alongside renters and union members. And in fact, many progressive unions have been part of this effort alongside Socialist Alternative and my office. So it's no surprise that corporate landlords are angry. And it's not only that they would love to reverse the victories that we've already won. They know that if we stay in office, we are absolutely going to push for and win rent control. And we have already started a campaign. In fact, November 30th, just days before the recall election, the Renters' Rights Committee that I chair on the council is going to have a big discussion on our rent control legislation that my office has drafted. So it's clear where the battle lines are drawn. And of course, Amazon team executives are also part of this. So it's, in general, it's big business interests that are aligned for the recall and in order to remove us from office. And I say us because it's not individually directed at me. It's directed at what we've been able to achieve through this fighting approach that we've used as a Marxist elected office.